Hello friends, welcome to ixamBee. This is Vidhika, law faculty at ixamBee, and today in this video I am going to answer two of the most common queries related to Sebi legal, and these are: is the syllabus mentioned enough? जो भी नोटिफिकेशन में सिलेबस मेंशन किया गया है फॉर पेपर 2 फॉर योर लॉ एग्जाम, इज दैट इनफ? क्या उससे बाहर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है? एंड शुड वी रीड सेबी रेगुलेशंस और नॉट? These are the most common queries I am getting. So in this video, I am trying to answer those queries for you. And I am going to do that through previous year paper analysis, through analysis of 2020 memory based paper. The phase 1 exam is on 20th February, so now you have hardly 20 days. तो अब इस चीज पर पॉन्डर करना, इस चीज को सोचना कि क्या सिलेबस में से ही क्वेश्चंस आएंगे. So in this video, we will try to understand whether the syllabus that is mentioned in the notification, is it enough or not. Let's quickly have a look at the pattern. In phase 1, there are two papers. Paper 1 is QRE plus GA. Each section will have 20 questions and each question will be of 1.25 marks, making a total of 100 marks. And the minimum cutoff is 30%. That means इसमें आपको minimum 30 marks लेने हैं. Paper 2, your legal paper, is again MCQ type, which will have questions of specialized stream, that is your law. In this there will be 50 questions of 2 marks, total 100 marks, और इसमें आपको minimum 40% लेने हैं, that is minimum 40 marks. और आपको phase 1 क्लियर करने के लिए minimum 40% marks लेने हैं out of 200, out of aggregate, that is 80 marks. So these 30 plus 40 is equal to 70 plus 10 you have to score in any of the paper, and if you score 80 marks, you will appear for phase 2. अब एक बार सिलेबस देखते हैं. नोटिफिकेशन में फेज 1 का सिलेबस बहुत ही क्लियरली मेंशन्ड है एंड ऑल्सो वेटेज इज गिवन नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस जो हर एक चैप्टर, हर एक सब्जेक्ट में से आएंगे. In this video, we will try to analyze topic by topic how many questions came in the previous year paper and should we do anything other than the syllabus or not. So starting with the first, Constitution of India. Syllabus में Constitution of India की weightage 10% है and these are the parts that are mentioned. So as per syllabus, 5 questions were expected from Constitution of India and in actual there were 8 to 9 questions in phase 1 exam. The topics from which these questions were: from the preamble, amendment to the preamble, 42nd Amendment Act, what words were added to the preamble, then adoption date, that is 26 November, then implementation date, that is 26 January 1950, then from part 1 there were questions relating to state boundaries, that if there is amendment made to the state boundaries, then which of the schedule has to be amended. Then from part 6 there was question from section 170 which talked about maximum number of council of ministers in a legislative assembly. Then from part 5 there was legislative procedure, how a bill gets converted into an act. Section 107 deals with that. Then from part 4A there was a question from fundamental duty which was related to education. There was one more question which was from part 14A. This is a topic in phase 2 of the exam. And the question was very direct. Central Administrative Tribunal is established under which article of the Constitution, and that is Article 323A. Then the next one is Law of Contracts, from which as per the syllabus 5 questions were expected and in total 7 questions came from the Indian Contract Act. The questions were from these topics: definition of the contract was asked, then from chapter 1 revocation of proposal and acceptance was asked, from chapter 3 contingent contract there were 3 questions, from section 31, from section 36 and from one more section, and then what are the rights concerning contracts, that was also asked. Moving to next subject, criminal and procedural laws. IPC, CRPC, evidence and CPC together hold a weightage of 15%. So as per the syllabus, expected number of questions were 7 to 8 and in total 5 questions came from all these topics, from all these subjects. There were 2 questions from criminal procedure code. One was the definition of cognizable offense and another one was how many criminal courts are established under criminal procedure code. Then there was one question from IPC related to the kinds of punishments which are present under IPC. Then 2 questions from CPC. One was related to the definition of mesne profits, section 2 subsection 12, and another was resistance to execution of any decree by judgment debtor. Section 74 deals with that topic, and from evidence there was no question in phase 1. Moving to next topic, we are talking about admin law, jurisprudence. Together they hold a weightage of 20%. So expected number of questions were 10. However, in the exam, there were 6-7 questions from this area. There were 2 questions from legal maxims, ad valorem, and nemo dat quad non habet. Then from jurisprudence and interpretation, there were about 2-3 questions. One was related to statutory implementation, then colorable legislation, pith and substance. From these areas of interpretation of statutes, there were questions. Then there were 2-3 questions from admin law as well. Then moving to the next part, we have Law of Torts and Consumer Protection Act, Arbitration and Conciliation Act, and Transfer of Property Act. And from this together 15% questions were expected. So as per the syllabus, 7 to 8 questions should have been there from these areas, and there were 6 questions in the phase 1 exam. From Consumer Protection Act, there was 1 question which dealt with rights of the consumer. From Arbitration and Conciliation Act, there were 3 questions. In Arbitration and Conciliation Act, you have to study only part 1. So from part 1, from chapter 5, there was a question from place of arbitration, section 20, then language of arbitral tribunal, that is section 22, and there was one more question relating to international commercial arbitration, that whether Arbitration and Conciliation Act deals with international commercial arbitration or not. And the answer is yes, because that is dealt in part 2, though it is not in the syllabus, but the heading was asked. Then from Transfer of Property Act, there were 2 questions. One was from chapter 4, section 58, which deals with types of mortgages, and the other one was from chapter 5, section 111, which talks about determination of lease. Moving to next topic, from the Companies Act, this holds a weightage of 15%. So as per the syllabus, expected number of questions were 7 to 8, and yes, the questions that came in phase 1 exam were 8. The areas from which these questions were asked were the definitions from section 2 subsection 4 and section 2 subsection 72, that deals with public financial institutions. Then the definition of amalgamation, absorption, these were asked. There was a question relating to articles of association. Another question was from maximum number of persons in a private company. Then there was one more question relating to number of directors in a private and a public company, and what could be the maximum age limit of a chairman under Companies Act. So these were the questions from Companies Act. The next important topic is securities law, which again holds a weightage of 15%. So expected number of questions as per the syllabus is 7 to 8, and actually there were 9 questions from this area. There were 7 questions from Sebi Act. One was removal of members, section 6 deals with this. Then functions of the Sebi was asked, section 11. Then factors to be considered while adjudging the quantum of penalty, section 15J. Then section 12, which was relating to registration of sub-brokers, brokers, depositories, venture capital funds and other organizations in the securities market. Then there was one question relating to salary of presiding officer of Securities Appellate Tribunal. Then another question was from insider trading penalty, and a question was from when was Sebi constituted in 1988. There was one question from the Depository Act, which was talking about the role of depository, and there was one question only from the regulation. Now, if you have listened to this entire video, you must have understood that from the 50 questions in phase 1, there were about 46 to 47 questions that were from the syllabus itself. There was one question very direct from the constitution, which was mentioned in syllabus of phase 2. Then there was one question from Sebi regulation and another one question in Arbitration and Conciliation Act relating to the heading of part 2, which is not in the syllabus. Apart from that, the rest of the questions were from whatever syllabus is mentioned in the notification. Please try to understand one thing here, that the exam is to recruit the best qualified candidates, and not to eliminate. So if Sebi did not want to stick to the syllabus, why would they have given such an elaborate syllabus with such detailed weightage criteria? I understand that there could be surprises in the exams. The window of that surprise is not very large. It's about 5 to 10%. So out of the 50 questions, even if you are not able to prepare for 4-5 questions and you are able to prepare the rest 45 questions, isn't that worth it? So for the rest 20 days, focus on whatever is mentioned on the syllabus, read it again and again, and practice a lot of questions based on whatever topics are mentioned in the syllabus, and that will give you a comprehensive preparation. Phase 1 is relatively easy to crack because there is only a merit criteria. You just have to score 80 marks out of 200. And if you want any form of guidance, any form of organized preparation, you want practice test, mock test, at ixamBee we offer Sebi Grade A online course. And at present we are giving flat 41% off on all our online courses. So if you're interested, enroll now. You can use the code RD41. In our course, we are providing you with 10 mock tests for phase 1 and 5 mock tests for phase 2. I am only talking about professional knowledge. For paper 1, in phase 1, you will get separate 15 mock tests. So in these mock tests, you will get exam kind of feeling, exam kind of preparation. Then you will have chapter tests for all the acts. For Constitution, there are 2 chapter tests. For Companies Act, there are about 18 to 20 chapter tests. For Securities Law, for each act, you will find chapter tests. Apart from that, there are course videos present in our Sebi legal course, and below these course videos, you will find concept check questions. And added to that, we are adding quizzes on a regular basis for your practice based on your latest exam pattern. All kinds of questions are present in these quizzes. There are bare act language questions, there are section based questions, conceptual questions, then there are illustration based questions. 4 of these quizzes have already been added in the course, and we will soon add the other quizzes as well. For Companies Act, we may as well provide you with 2 quizzes apart from the one on 17th Feb. So if you are looking for a lot of practice questions, you may as well check out our course. You can find the link of the course in the description below. Also for 2020 memory based question, इस entire वीडियो में मैंने आपके साथ 2020 memory based पेपर की एनालिसिस डिस्कस की है, और उसी के एस्पेक्ट में I have tried to explain that how much sticking to the syllabus is important for the exam. Do not waste your time over the peripheral topics. You can find the PDF of that memory based paper also in the description below. If you have any query, you can write your query in the comment box. You can also call us on the number mentioned on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.